I'm going to go head back to the barn, gear up myself, and we're going to go sit on the north end of the property for the afternoon. A couple more minutes, and we'll have some warm soup. That was a good one for the table right there. Welcome to A Sportsman's Life. We're so glad you tuned in to join us for another exciting real-world outdoor adventure right here on A Sportsman's Life. We're out deer hunting, folks, East Texas, and a couple of days post-Thanksgiving. I hope you all had a great Thanksgiving, but a little chilly out here, 36 degrees right now. Damp, had a little sprinkles here earlier, but we're gonna go get in the blind. We're gonna take our 30-06. We're just gonna go sit the afternoon, so maybe we'll see some deer, hopefully. We're gonna go sit on a food plot I put in, and we hadn't had much rain, so I haven't even seen the food plot in several weeks, so I'm hoping there's something there to look at, but deer usually come in that area, so we're gonna go hang there. Let's go hunt. Just walked out to one of our blinds and feeders and got things set up for my wife to hunt tonight. She'll be able to just walk out there and be set to go. I actually dumped a little corn just down that road a bit. It's a good place for does to come out, and of course a lot of times they'll bring bucks. So anyway, I'm going to go head back to the barn, gear up myself, and we're going to go sit on the north end of the property for the afternoon. Beautiful morning, one doe, a little fog, but a beautiful time. We'll have a beautiful afternoon regardless. We'll meet you at the blind. Sit here this afternoon and be on the lookout. Beautiful afternoon. It's an all-dayer here at the Buck and Bass Ranch. We'll grab this sandwich and we'll go right back in the blind. Let's keep on. Well, as much as I love to hunt hogs, I just have to pass on these guys tonight. I'm looking to fill my freezer with some venison, and pork is not on the menu tonight, so we're going to let these guys pass. There's a couple of really good ones in there, but not tonight. Let's take a look at this. Oh yeah. Cooking nicely. Couple more minutes and we'll have some warm soup. Brought to you by Dallas Safari Club, Conservation, Education, and Hunter Advocacy. Hornady, accurate, deadly, dependable. Taurus Firearms, maker of the Raging Hunter. Stealth Vision, high-tech precision-driven equipment tailored for the modern hunter. Watching three does. There's a small buck back off behind them, and he's kind of messing with them. He's about to run him off. Had a nice buck pass us this morning, just too quickly to get on him. It was coming up this draw behind me, and he was on a mission to get to the north, so I don't know where he was headed, but he was on a mission. Couldn't slow him down. I don't think he was a shooter, but he was a big 8-point. We're gonna give her another hour, and then I gotta head back, but it's been fun. It's been cold, it's been beautiful. Fun to sit out here. We've seen some animals, just not the right one. I should have shot one of those hogs last night. If they show back up, they better look out. Looks like we got a little venison on the ground. Busted up old buck. But I believe that'll be a good one to put on the table. We'll give her a minute and we'll go check it out. Beautiful. Boy, it's a good looking buck. Check that out. Broke off on this side. That was a good one for the table right there. He's got some body weight to him. It's a good sized deer right there. It's got some age, so we decided to take him out. Beautiful buck for the freezer. Yep, that's a good one. All right, gotta go get the buggy. I'll get him back to camp. This is what it's all about, putting some meat in the freezer. Man, I love it. I absolutely love it. Just want to kind of give you a look at what the hunting situation looks like. So there's our box blind over there. Snap lock hunting blinds, you gotta love them. They work extremely well. And this is just a little ridge back in here. These deer walk these ridges big time. Of course, we were watching that 4-point all afternoon, and then this guy showed up, and I can tell you what, he's an older deer. He's got some battle scars on him, and big bodied. Good deer for this area, so we took him. A little meat for the freezer. Well, an absolutely gorgeous day out here at our place in East Texas, and just getting out, you know, during the deer season and enjoying an afternoon or several, sitting in the blind, just taking in Mother Nature. We had a beautiful evening, and the Lord blessed us with a nice deer, so that one will go in the freezer and feed my wife and I for the upcoming year. So absolutely love venison, and that was a good deer to take, so I'm excited. All right, heading back to camp. Got to get the buggy and we'll get him out.
A Sportsman's Life is also brought to you by Mossberg, American Built, American Strong. The YO Steakhouse, Catch and Release Apparel, Pyramid Air, your one-stop shop for everything air guns.
Hello sports fans, Bill Carey with Striper Express with your fishing tip on A Sportsman's Life. For about 30 years we've been offering a complimentary tournament style weigh-in for our groups of 12 and up. We specialize in groups. I do this 3, 4, 5 times a week. We make a big deal out of it. We take your logo and we put it across this photo paper. Striped Bass Fishing Tournament, Lake Texoma, Texas. #1 striper lake in the USA. First place, name, date, and weight. Second place and third place. So we start at third place and we holler for Joe Smith, come on up. You won third place. We give him a certificate and we give him a hunting knife. And he gets the infamous Striper Express Shut Up and Fish t-shirt. A lot of companies sweeten the pie with the prizes, and then we do second place and the knives just get bigger. That is second place. And then of course, when we get to first place, the official blessing. On behalf of the fishing gods of Lake Texoma, you've been deemed the best darn fisherman today. Way to go. Joe Smith, first place, 13 pounds, 4 ounces. And then Joe comes up, they get bigger. First place. And this is a big hit. They get a t-shirt, knife, something you can hang in your office or your man cave, and the bar's been set. That's who you got to beat to knock them off. So I just show you, been doing that for 30 plus years. It's a big hit. We have a lot of fun, and so does everybody else. So this is Bill Carey with Striper Express on A Sportsman's Life. Go catch a fish.
If you want to learn more about Vineyard Max and the other products they have, go to www.vineyardmax.net.
Hi friends, it's Luke Clayton. I want to tell you a story today, a quick one, not take up too much of our show, but one that's kind of funny and one that you might enjoy. You know, I've been an outdoor rider for almost 40 years now, so you can only imagine some of the situations that I've got into, some of the fun things and challenging things that I've got into kicking around the outdoors that long. One of them, I'm going to blame Larry Weissoon on this. Larry was one of the head honchos with Thompson Center back in the day. I'm talking probably 30 years ago. Well, I watched his shows, and at that point, I shot muzzle loaders for about, I don't know, six or 7 years. That's all I hunted with for big game was muzzle loaders. I loved that, learning about new ways to hunt. So I had ordered a TC, or maybe Larry sent it to me, I don't know. It was a TC Scout, and it was not the most accurate muzzle loader. I mean, it would shoot a pretty good group out to about 75 yards, but back then we didn't have the 209 shotgun primers in muzzle loaders. We used the number 11 CCI caps. So that's what fired the charge on the TC Scout back in the day. Have a sip of coffee here. So anyway, had a hunt on Clayton Williams. If you've been around Texas a long time, you'll remember Clayton Williams ran for governor back in the day. I don't know, 30 years ago, whatever, a long time ago, decades ago. Well, he owned the ranch out between Fort Stockton and Marathon. The pasture, if you can call 100,000 acres a pasture, was called the West Powell. Part of I think the Longfellow Ranch now, but it's a famous Texas ranch. So Paul Henderson was Clayton Williams' game manager. Paul called me and said, Luke, come out. I was doing an article that ran in a bunch of newspapers. It's a whole bunch of them that back in those days, I was writing for newspapers too. Come out and hunt a mule deer. I'd never hunted desert mule deer back then, and I was fired up, I want to tell you. So I did. I drove all the way out there and went to Fort Stockton and then turned down the road and headed toward Marathon. Turned off the road, and I never will forget, 22 miles I drove on a winding ranch road to get to the headquarters back there. I'd like to go back there and just visit that place again. So Paul had his guides all there. There was probably 4 guys. There's some other hunters in the camp other than me. So middle of the day, I got there before noon. So I wanted to shoot that muzzleloader, make sure it's still on. Had a scope on it. So got out there at 100 yards, and I don't know, I was shooting a consistent 6-inch group, you know, all the time at 100 yards. The cowboys out there on that ranch served as guides, and my guide was Walt. Well, I forget his last name, real nice guy. And his son was with us. Well, so everybody's shooting. It's windy as heck. I bet the wind sustained 30 miles an hour out there that day. So I'm out at the range, and each one of them, the cowboys, at first they were very skeptical. They didn't know what old Luke was going to do with that muzzleloader. He never shot one out there on those desert mule deer. So each one of them would shoot it, and they said, hey, wait a minute, this will work. You know, shoot a 3-inch group, sometimes 4-inch at 100 yards. It would get the job done. So it was getting about 2 o'clock, about time to start thinking about heading out to hunt. Well, I'm there with that muzzleloader, the TC Scout. It's kind of a cowboy-looking rifle, somewhat like a lever action 30-30. It wasn't a lever action, but wind blowing about 30 miles per hour. Back in those days, I shot granular powder. Paradex Select is what I was loaded with, 70 grains. Nowadays you don't go muzzleloader hunting unless you've got a 100 or 150 grains charge. But I had that in. I had my volumetric measuring deal, 70 grains, and these cowboys were around me. They wanted to learn more about this muzzleloader thing. So they're watching, and I'm pouring, and I'm talking. Yeah, okay, well, that's right. You may figure this out before I tell you the story. Wind was blowing very, very hard. So got it low, got the powder. I thought I got all that powder. I was, talking and pouring. I had a conical, big conical, about a 300 grain, I don't know, big old hunk of lead, and I seated that down on the powder charge. Don't put your percussion cap on until you get ready to hunt. That's just the rule of thumb. Load up with Walt in their Suburban and his son. It's about 3:30. So the way you hunt them is spot and stalk out there on the ranch. And there were some big, nice mule deer bucks, I'm telling you. So we drive around for about 45 minutes and, glassing, binoculars. Spot about, I think it was 18 on the side of a mountain out there. Walt said, let's go for them. He saw one really good buck and let me look at it. My old heart went boom, 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 boom. I was getting excited. So we start heading up, it's probably a quarter of a mile over there. Start driving up this mountain, and I'm thinking, let me out. I want to stalk up there. And I even said, you want me to get out here, Walt? Let me out. And he said, no, just, you'll spook them. I thought, spook them? We're in a bouncy old Suburban, and I'm going to spook them on foot? Anyway, they were used to seeing that Suburban. So we drive up that mountain. Within 200 yards of about 18 mule deer, they all, big old ears up, they were looking. I said, I'll never get a shot. Walt said, just get around here and go around these rocks and ease up here. He kind of pointed it out. And he said, they'll keep watching the truck. Go up there and shoot that big buck. I don't remember being more excited on a hunt because I'd never killed a desert mule deer, much less one like I was looking at. I get up there, folks, I get around this, there's a rock there, and I had a jacket on. I pulled my jacket off and put it on this rock and laid that old TC Scout up there, and they were 80 yards. I had a little rangefinder back in the day, a little Bushnell rangefinder. 80 yards. I could do it, I thought. I look over out of the corner of my eye, there's Walt in the truck watching. He was dubious of this muzzleloader anyway, I'll be honest with you. All of them were, even after shooting it. I shot, and I'll tell you, I saw that bullet hit the ground about 40 yards in front of me. And I said, I knew then what happened. That wind had blown my charge out back at the camp. Walt didn't know that, and I'd never tried to explain it to him what happened. I never tried. But I jumped behind that rock, and I had a little speed loader, 70 grains. Put that 70 grains in there, seated that bullet real quick. I thought, okay, they're going to be gone. I looked up, and those deer, all 18 of those deer, there's a couple of smaller bucks and an old big boy. They had just startled around. I didn't see them doing it, but Walt said they just jumped around a little bit. And they were a little bit closer to me than before, about 70 yards. So this time the old TC went bang. And that buck, he never moved. It anchored him right in the spot. But folks, I never tried to explain that to Mr. Walt, my guide. He may have figured it out, like what really happened, but if you're an outdoor rider and you've been kicking around the woods and the waters for 40 years, you'll have stories like this to tell, friends. And friends, here is that big old desert mule deer that I shot that I was telling you about. I'll never forget that hunt. Folks, this segment was brought to us by Gearhead Archery, Smoke Intex Electric Smokers, Snaplock Hunting Blinds, YO Ranch Headquarters, Ultramatic Feeders, and Catfish Pro. Tune in next week for some more real-world outdoor adventures right here on A Sportsman's Life.